Hi, it's Mike Love calling.
Hi, Mike Love. This is Justin. I'm here with my buddy Anthony. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah, we can do it.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get right into
All
it.
right.
Mike Love and the Beach Boys will be performing Friday, April 8th at the Paramount in Huntington, and we are joined by the iconic, legendary rock icon himself, Mike Love. This is a dream come true. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for letting the word out that we will be at the Paramount on the 8th.
Yes.
A week from today, huh?
What does Long Island mean to you as far as performing goes? Because you guys have had many a shows here in the New York area. Is this something special to come back to Long Island?
Oh, sure. It always is. You know, we've done the Theater in the Round over in Westbury, and then we've done Jones Beach in years past, and, you know, and we've even done colleges out that way. But it's, you know, we've been at it 60 years this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but great fans on Long Island, really. And the Paramount in particular is a wonderful venue. We love going there. It's a really nice venue for performers and the people as well, you know, the audience as well. It's really a great place. And we love going there, and we're looking forward to it next week.
I had the pleasure of actually meeting you at a show at the Westbury Theater probably 20 years ago at this point. I'm 33 years old. This was actually the first concert I ever went to. And
that's
it was
great.
after the show, you signed the program guide for it, and it's something I've cherished ever since. So it's so great to have you back on Long Island. I cannot wait to go to the show on the 8th. Before we get into any Beach Boys talk, I just want to throw this out here. I don't know if you have anything to say about what occurred this past week with the Oscars and Will Smith and all that drama. I promise we will get to all Beach Boys talk, but I'm curious because you've had to deal with, I'm sure, some wild fans, some wild incidents, you know, in your lifetime. Did you have any thoughts of when you saw that? What was going through your mind as a performer?
Well, I didn't actually watch the show, but I saw it certainly on the news and the big brouhaha on it. But, you know, I think it was just very uncool of Will Smith to do that because Chris Rock, who's a great comedian, he was just doing his thing, you know?
Yeah.
And part of his thing is to, you know, like Don Rickles used to do, is put everybody down. But also did it with a bit of love as well. So, I don't know, I just think it was very uncool and a sad moment because, you know, everybody's loved Will Smith since he's been the Fresh Prince, you know. Yeah. So, you know, it was just a sad situation, I think. And I think he probably regrets it very much, you know.
Yeah. It was very, as you mentioned, sad, I think is a good word to use because, again, Will Smith was the man of my childhood. He was such an icon, and to see him fall into a trap like that and do what he did, I don't know, very disappointing.
I wanted to ask, when you came back from the tour in 1965 with the rest of the band, what was your initial reaction to what Brian was creating in the Pet Sounds project? Well,
there was amazing productions. You know, some people said that I said, you know, some disparaging things about Pet Sounds, but that's stupid. I never did. And it just idiotic, you know, because how are you going to knock Pet Sounds? The production was amazing, you know, and we worked really hard on it. We all worked really hard to make those harmonies perfect. I mean, we did over 20 takes on just one section of Wouldn't It Be Nice? And so, we thought it was quite the departure, and so did everybody else. You know, it inspired the Beatles and so many other artists. Capitol Records really, at the time, didn't know what to do with it because it was such a departure from I Get Around and Fun, and California Girls and Surfing USA and stuff. But there's some great songs that we do every night. God Only Knows, Sloop John D, and Wouldn't It Be Nice off the Pet Sounds album. We love doing them. They're great songs, great arrangements. And, so it was a historical album, and it holds up till this day.
Yeah, I feel like every time I listen through it, I hear another instrument in there. Like in Wouldn't You and I just it's such a well-produced album. Another question regarding that. How did your label view the album putting out that album? Were they a little hesitant at first, or were they saying
they just didn't know? They just didn't know what to do with it, because they have listening parties with their label executives and stuff and promotional people, and it didn't have the same kind of single appeal like some of the others did. But I mean, God Only Knows did very well, and wouldn't it be nice as an iconic song? So over time, it caught on, but it took a long time for it to go to platinum. But it's just the way it was, because we were changing our style a little bit for that album, and they didn't know how to handle it really.
So you mentioned some iconic songs from that Pet Sounds album. Is there a song in the Beach Boys catalog that you think really represents the band? Is there one specific song that you personally enjoy performing? Because whenever I've gotten to see you live, you always seem to have so much fun on the stage. And Be True to Your School is always one I feel like you have a blast doing. Is there one specific song that you think represents the band?
Well, I think Good Vibrations from the 60s was our biggest selling single, and it was unique for its time, because it was kind of like our psychedelic song of that era. But 22 years later, Kokomo came along, and that's probably the biggest sing-along we have in our show. And thanks to John Stamos having us on Full House,
yes,
we have successive generations of fans that have come to know that song and love it. And so those two songs, Good Vibrations and Kokomo, both #1, years apart, but they're great songs to sing, and they people join in on them, which is neat.
Now, I don't want to give Mike Love any advice, but I have a brilliant idea. I don't know if you could contact maybe Weird Al, or if you could work on this, but I got an idea for Kokomo. We're going to call it Wokomo. And it's going to be about all these snowflake people in the world that are you don't have to use it, but feel free. Take my idea, by all means. By the way, we're talking with Mike Love, and he'll be performing with the Beach Boys Friday, April 8th at the Paramount in Huntington. Now, you mentioned Full House and John Stamos, who I've seen you perform with him twice before, and you developed such a great friendship with him. What does John Stamos mean to you? I saw he gave you such a great, loving shout-out on his Instagram for your birthday just a few weeks ago, and happy belated birthday. But what does John Stamos mean to you? And I know with the passing of Bob Saget a few months ago at this point, what did that mean to you to go on that show and sort of show the Beach Boys to a new generation?
Well, that's exactly what John Stamos wanted to do. He loves the Beach Boys, and as always, and since he was a Blackie on General Hospital, he's been a big fan, and he's come out and performed with us from time to time when he can. And he actually asked me to be involved in his wedding to his beautiful bride Caitlin, and so I mean, there's a real closeness there and a real fondness for each other, but we have a great time on stage. He is so magnetic and energetic on stage, and he loves playing the drums. And we back him up on the song called Forever, which was written by my cousin Dennis. And so there's just a lot of love and appreciation of each other, and so it's really a great relationship. It's kind of rare. But he's been really a great friend as well as a fan over the years.
And the passing of Bob Saget, I know you didn't have quite the relationship that you did with John Stamos, but I know he was definitely somebody that was important, I'm sure, to your life in the last 35 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a sad loss that we had in the world of comedy. I had the pleasure of seeing you guys for the 50th anniversary tour at Jones Beach, and you guys put out that great album, That's Why God Made the Radio. Now, that was a decade ago, which means this is the 60th anniversary of the Beach Boys. Now, I know Al Jardine said something might have been in the works for something as far as a reunion goes. Do you guys ever see, the band, joining together, joining forces, or is that just something that is not likely to happen at this point?
No, what we are doing, though, is putting together a documentary where we're all involved in producing a documentary on the Beach Boys, a 60th anniversary documentary, which is pretty unique in the world of entertainment. So, yeah, we are cooperating in that. As far as doing concerts together, Brian does his own thing, and we do ours, Bruce and I, who's been with us since 1965 when he took Brian's place after Glenn Campbell took Brian's place because Brian quit traveling with the Beach Boys in 1964. And so he wasn't doing well on tour. He didn't like it as much as I do. I've always loved the live music part of it. But he wanted to stay at home and produce music. So the good news is California Girls came along the next year. Pet Sounds came along. The Beach Boys Party album with Barbara Ann came out. So, it worked out well, but it was a drag at the time because, your cousin Brian, we grew up together and wrote songs together and did incredible stuff. But, but it was his choice to not want to tour anymore at that time. So later on, many years later, he started back up touring again as Brian Wilson.
What was the process like trying to take the Smile project and condensing it down to a single LP? Was that very stressful, or was it easy to sort of take certain tracks from the initial tapes?
No, it was just all part of the process of doing. The record company would constantly be on our case to deliver another album. In fact, when we were working on the Pet Sounds album, we needed more time because it was a lot of labor went into that. So we did the Beach Boys Party album in the meantime, which was more spontaneous and it was more basic, but we had a lot of fun doing it. But we delivered that to Capitol Records to give us more time to do the Pet Sounds album. That's 1965 into 1966, right around that time. So we were very busy guys.
Now, you mentioned Brian is sort of doing his thing with Al Jardine, and you're doing your thing with Bruce. Now, for majority of the Beach Boy fans, I'd say, we love both versions of the touring band, but there is also a division of sorts. How do you deal with any sort of hate and backlash that you've gotten? Because for me personally, I'm so thin-skinned. Like any form of criticism, I feel like it just shuts me down, and it is difficult for me to personally get through with that. But I don't. Is it something that you've had to deal with throughout, your many years of being famous? Do you just sort of tune out that sort of negativity in your life?
Well, the funny thing is about the musical groups is everybody has an idea of who's the best guy in every group. I mean, some people say John Lennon was the Beatles, and then what's Paul McCartney, chopped liver? I don't think so. So, there's and then George Harrison is, by some people, we're just almost ignored, but he was a brilliant artist and a great guy. And he and I both had our birthdays in India at Maharishi's place in the spring of '68. In fact, I do a song that I wrote at that as a result of knowing him and that history together, called Pisces Brothers. He's born on February 25th, I on March 15th, so we're both Pisces. So, it's funny how everybody seems to choose one person or another in a group, and it happens with all the groups. And think that one, but it's a group effort, and that group chemistry is what, and the harmonies and the melodies and the songs themselves, they're the things that stand out. And I don't think the divisions and stuff, I don't let it bother me. I understand the nature of people's mentality, trying to focus on who's their favorite, and that's fine. Whoever's your favorite, great, It's okay.
There is no Beach Boys without Mike Love. There is no Beach Boys without Brian Wilson. You guys are both pillars of the rock industry. So, I don't see the division, but it is there.
How come you think that the music industry has this warped view of you? Is there a specific event, or do you think it's just a narrative that was constructed out of nowhere?
I think it came out of ignorance. I might see my uncle administered the publishing, and I wrote the words to "I Get Around," "California Girls," "Help Me Rhonda," and lots of other songs. But I was never given credit at the time, and so that's a bummer. So it made it look like Brian Wilson did everything, which was not true because it was a songwriting partnership. So, but that's water under the dam. That's many years ago. We got restitution. We got credited for the majority of songs that we wrote together. So, but it was just an unfortunate situation that my uncle was most responsible for.
I don't want to get too into politics, but do you find it difficult to have a different political viewpoint than a majority of the people that are in show business? Because for me personally, I have so many friends that support both political parties, but I know for some people in this world, it's either you agree with me or you're dead to me. Do you find that to be difficult in today's day and age?
Well, some people are very opinionated to the point where they can't even see something positive from somebody they disagree with. But we've been friendly with Trump for decades. We did his 50th birthday party, and what is he now, 77 or something? Anyway, so we've never had a negative relationship with him and everything. And I certainly think as a businessman, he was well suited to run the country, but that's my opinion. And everybody else has their opinion, and that's what democracy is all about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Able to speak out.
It's crazy that people are not even allowed to have opinions these days, and I'm so glad that you stand by that. That is actually a very admirable thing. And by the way, you can see Mike Love and the Beach Boys performing Friday, April 8th at the Paramount in Huntington. I'm so excited for this show. I hope you guys do this for another 60 years. And Mike Love, so appreciative. I mean, I've had interviews at this station before, but nothing has been close to somebody on your level. So for you, an icon, to take the time of your day to give to this college radio station means the world to me and Anthony and this entire station. So thank you so much for all of this.
Well, I very much appreciate you letting the world know that the Beach Boys will be at the Paramount. It's one of our favorite venues, honestly, to go to in the USA. I mean, there's Royal Albert Hall in London is tough to compete with, but the Paramount is a wonderful time. It's a great venue. If you haven't been there, you should definitely go. It's got multiple situations going on there, private clubs and different, speakeasy kind of things. It's a unique situation, but it's a beautiful stage, beautiful venue, and we're very much looking forward to being out on Long Island on the 8th.
Hell yeah. There he is, Mike Love. Thank you so much.
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah,
Thank you
this is
so
like
much.
the weirdest April Fool's prank or the greatest day of my life.
Oh, come on, no. It's no April Fool's. It's the real deal.
Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Again, this was amazing.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.